In June 2026, CISA rewrote the rules for federal vulnerability management. Binding Operational Directive 26-04 retired the old model, where every known exploited vulnerability got the same flat remediation clock. In its place, a risk-based model. Every vulnerability is scored on 4 questions. Is the asset publicly exposed? Is it a known exploited vulnerability? Can the exploit be automated? And what happens if it is? The answers set the deadline: 3 days, 14 days, 60 days, or fix it at the next upgrade. This is where RedSeal comes in. RedSeal builds a model of your environment from your on-prem devices, cloud, and software-defined network configurations so it knows what can actually reach what. No active scanning needed to prove reachability. CISA hands you 3 of those 4 answers through its vulnrichment feed. But the 4th, is this asset actually exposed, is left to the agency. And in a real network, with firewalls, routing, and segmentation in the way, that is the hardest question to answer with confidence. Guess wrong, and you either burn a 3-day clock on something that was never reachable, or you miss the one that was. RedSeal's automation workflow pulls the current CISA KEV catalog, matches it against the vulnerabilities already in your environment, and uses the model to answer the exposure question for every affected asset. Then it does the sorting for you. Every vulnerability lands in the right BOD 26 low 4 tier. 3-day, 14-day, 60-day, fix on upgrade, as its own scope right here in the navigation. Open the 3-day scope, and you're looking at exactly what the directive says you have 72 hours to remediate. And every row and column carries the evidence. Exposed to untrusted tells you the asset is reachable from an untrusted network. That is your public exposure answer, backed by the model. Not a guess. Access to critical shows the blast radius if it is breached. This is not a severity score. It is defensible, auditable proof of why each item sits in the tier it does. The kind of evidence CDM reporting and CISA attestation ask for. RedSeal turns a per-asset, 4-variable judgment call into a prioritized work list that stays current as your network changes. So your team spends its scarce 3-day capacity on what is genuinely exposed and exploitable, and defers the rest with confidence. CISA's own pilot found only about 1% of vulnerabilities land in the top tier, and more than 60% could wait for the next upgrade. RedSeal helps you find that 1%, prove it for audit, and do it across both IT and OT, using the data you already have. See what your 3-day list looks like on your own network. Book a demo, and we will show you how you can quickly identify how to meet this CISA mandate.